Welcome back to another lecture from organic chemistry. In this lecture, I'm going to go through cycloalkane. Okay, so we are talking about cycloalkane or alkane. In alkane, they have carbon with sp3 hybridization, and expected bond angle for them is 109. But if you have like a cyclic compound that is made of 3 or 4 carbons, and that system is going to have bond angle around 60 or 90. That means we will see huge strain, the angular strain, okay, huge angular strain. Also, the hydrogen atom or substituent that attach to carbon atoms, they will be in eclipse position. That means they will see each other and they will repel each other. So that means you are going to feel or see torsional strain as well. I mean, repulsion technically as well. One of the most stable actually rings is the one that it has 6 member, and the cyclohexane is one of those examples. Okay, so there is a reason that nature decided to build life with mainly molecules that they have 6 carbons or 6 atoms inside one ring, because it's going to be really stable. Okay, so if we are dealing with cyclopropane, because of the bond angle, which is around 60, we will see huge angle strain. That's one. And also, all hydrogen atoms will be in a eclipse position. And because they are in eclipse position, we will have torsional strain as well. Okay. Now, if we increase the the number of members from 3 to 4, the bond angle from 60 it will increase to 80, and that's some, it's good improvement, but still we are way far from 109.5. Okay, system, it will be stable. It will be way more stable than actually the cyclopropane. Okay, but even the bond angle increased to almost 90. Forgive me, 90. And still, you will see some hydrogen that they are in eclipse position, and those hydrogen, they will have some torsional strain. Okay, why torsional strain? As you see, there are three bonds far from each other, and that's going to create torsional strain between the top hydrogens and also the bottom hydrogen atoms as well. Okay. Now, let's add one more hydrogen. If we one more carbon. If we add one more carbon, now the bond angle it will go around 108. Okay, the bond angle it will go up around 109, 108, and the perfect one is 109.5. So it's not that far. Okay, it's not that far. That's a good news. Okay, and but I do see some hydrogen atoms, okay, that they are like they are facing to each other. That means we are gonna see some torsional actual strain there. Okay, let's talk about those two structures. First, cyclobutane, it has expected bond angle is 109.5, but the bond angle we see is around 88 or 90. Okay, do we see angle strain? Yes, because it's way off. And do we see torsional strain? Yes, also we have that one, and let me highlight them. That's the torsional strain. Okay, and I do have it with the atoms that hydrogen atoms that they are pointing down. Now, if we add one more carbon to this ring, okay, in that case, the bond angle it will be 108, and the expected one, okay, the expected is 109.5, but right now we see it is 108. Okay, so do we have angle strain? Yes, we do, but not much. Okay, not much. We do have it, but not much. Do we have torsional strain? And let's check it. One hydrogen, okay, that's in three bonds far from the second hydrogen, and they are in eclipse, okay, in eclipse position. Okay, and so I do have torsional there. Okay, and also you can have actually a steric effect, and the steric effect you can say, okay, hydrogen is not going to create much steric effect, but it doesn't mean absolutely is nothing and is equal to zero. There is some repulsion there. Okay. Now, what will happen if we add one carbon to cyclopentane? In that case, we get cyclohexane. Cyclohexane does not have angle strain, and there is no torsional strain as well. Okay, and so that's really good news. Okay, let's learn how to actually draw those structures, and we start with this. Okay, okay, we're going to start with this: the fact that cyclohexane and it has a carbon with sp3 hybridization, so the expected bond angle for them is 109.5 degree. Okay, again, because it's sp3. And okay, and what's the real one? The real one again is 109.5. So carbon has has the expected, or has exactly what we expected as a bond angle. That's really good news. Okay, again, for sp3 hybridization, bond angle supposed to be 109.5, and we do see that one. Okay, how do I draw a structure of cyclohexane? Okay, when it comes to cyclic compounds, in order to increase the bond angle from, let's say, from 90 to 109, they try to actually get bent. Okay, and or they will get out of the flat, like a flat orientation, and they get they get like bented in some areas to increase the bond angle. And one of them is cyclohexane. Cyclohexane, it can have two conformation. One of it, we call it chair conformation. Okay, that's a chair conformation. And so as you see, if you pick any two line, okay, let's say if you pick this one, there will be one line parallel to it, and that line is parallel to it. And if you pick that one line that is parallel to it, it will be that one. Okay, and the last one, this line is parallel to that line. So always you can find two pairs, two lines that they are parallel to each other. Okay, and you can flip this one. Okay, and move this one. Okay, move this one up and bring this one down. And if you do it, you will get such a structure. Okay, so in this case, head of the molecule, it will be pointing up. So I'm going to draw the head of molecule is pointing up. Okay, that's another version of it. Again, you have this line is parallel to that line, and yellow one is here and is parallel. Okay, parallel to this one. Okay, and those two also are, forgive me, those two are parallel. Okay, and this conformation, we call it a chair conformation, is the most stable one. Why? Because it has bond angle around 109. Okay, there is another actually conformation, common conformation for cyclohexane, and that's, we call it both. And this is the conformation for it. Okay, and it's not stable. Why is not stable? Because you will see some hydrogen atoms, okay, that they will be pointing in this direction, and also you have some stuff here, some stuff there, or here, that they will increase actually the repulsion and make the system unstable. So one of the best actual conformation, it will be either this one or that one. Okay, now let's talk about the chair conformation. Okay, the molecule that you see in front of you is cyclohexane, and the most stable structure for it is the chair conformation. Okay, any carbon, it has two hydrogen atoms. Okay, and any carbon that I pick is going to have two hydrogen atoms in two different positions. One hydrogen atom, it will be pointing up. Okay, this hydrogen atom is pointing up, and the second one, it will be pointing down. Okay, the one that is pointing up, Okay, let's go with blue. The one that is pointing up, okay. And in this case, I'm gonna call it here, I'm gonna call it the axial. Okay, and the second one that is kind of like is pointing down, and that hydrogen, we're gonna call it the equatorial. Okay, so each carbon, it has one axial hydrogen atom and one axial, one equatorial substituent or another hydrogen atom. Okay, always, you're going to have one axial and one equatorial. You can't have two axials or two equatorials. And so keep this one in your mind. Okay, next thing is, okay, we said any hydrogen atom, it has one axial substituent and one equatorial. Let's show the axials. Okay, the axial, they're going to show up or down. Okay, they will be pointing up or down. Okay, so the first one I showed it is pointing up, and the second one will be pointing down. This is going to be up, down, up, and then here, down. Okay, so as you see, okay, we started with one hydrogen that was pointing up. The first one was pointing up, so I'm going to say this one is up, and then I say down. Okay, hydrogen up, hydrogen down, then hydrogen up, and next hydrogen, it will be pointing down. Okay, so up, down, and this one keeps happening. And you're gonna get three hydrogens that they are in up position, and three hydrogen down position, or they are pointing actually down. Okay, how about the equatorial? Okay, we said the second part must be equatorial. Okay, I showed you the axial hydrogen, the equatorial, okay, it will be pointing down. Okay, so with the top example, we decided to put hydrogen here and call it axial. Okay, if that one is axial, is pointing up, then this hydrogen must be the equatorial, and it's pointing down because the axial hydrogen is pointing up. So I'm going to say this hydrogen is equatorial, okay, and it's pointing down. Okay, where is going to be the second hydrogen? The second hydrogen, okay, remember that now the second axial is here. So that's going to be axial. Where do you want to put the equatorial? The equatorial should be there. Okay, and this one, it will be parallel with this line. Okay, so I'm gonna show it here. Okay, it will be there. That's gonna be hydrogen. Okay, and it will be up. Yes, that one is gonna be up. Now, where is the second hydrogen? Okay, we have axial hydrogen that is pointing up. So we need to have one hydrogen that is pointing this direction. Okay, and then, okay, let me for a second show the axial hydrogen. So the axial hydrogen, this is axial, okay, and then we had one axial down here, so one axial is going to be there, okay, and the equatorial, it will be pointing down, and here axial, and this one is axial. Okay, let's show the equatorial. Okay, so the equatorial, next one is going to be, okay, I can draw it parallel to this line also. So let's put it here. Okay, I'm going to put it here. Okay, it's pointing down, and this one is going to be up, and here is going to be pointing down, and this one is going to be pointing in this, technically, it should be pointing this direction. Okay. And okay, let me erase the axials. Okay, those are axial. I'm going to erase them just to make it clear. Okay, axial are gone. Okay, so whatever left, it will be the equatorial. And those are the equatorial hydrogen atoms. Okay, so that one is up. This one, it will be down. This one, it will be up. And that one, it will be down. And this is going to be up again. Okay, so as you see, we have, again, we have a three hydrogen in axial position that they are pointing up, start from here, up, and that one up, and we got three also down, And starting from here, this one is down. Okay, down, down, and that one down. So always you will have three axials that are pointing up, and the three equatorial that they are pointing up, and three axial pointing down, and also three equatorials pointing down again. Okay. Now, when it comes to, like a substituent that they are bigger than hydrogen atom, okay, because they're going to create a steric effect, you need to put them in a position to create the minimum repulsion, okay, the minimum repulsion. So imagine you have a methyl group instead of hydrogen. And what will happen if we put a methyl group there? Okay, so we're going to put a carbon here. Let's put a carbon atom there, or we can put the carbon here. Okay, remember, carbon atom is attached to three hydrogen atoms. Okay, so any carbon atom, it will be attached to three hydrogen atoms. So let me move this one a bit to the right, to the left side. Okay. Okay. I'm going to put hydrogen atoms there. Okay, and what about here? That's going to be hydrogen. Okay, hydrogen here and CH3. Okay, so on the left side, I put methyl group. Okay, I put the methyl group in axial position. Okay, in axial position. And here, the methyl group, they are in equatorial position. Okay, I want to know which one is going to be more stable. Okay, let's check the methyl group. The methyl group, it has hydrogen, okay, attached to it, one bond. Okay, so this is going to be one bond, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5. Now, okay, I see this hydrogen atom, okay, is pointing to those red hydrogen atoms that is far by 1, 2, 3, okay, 1, 2, 3 carbons, okay, by 3 carbons there, okay. So wherever we had the substituent, okay, wherever we had it, if you start counting from there, 3 carbons far from it, you will have one substituent. It can be hydrogen or another group, okay. If you have a methyl group sitting axial position, hydrogens of that methyl group, very soon they will see hydrogen on the 3rd carbon, and they will create repulsion. Okay, they will create repulsion. So we're going to get repulsion there. Okay, if you put the methyl group in axial position, but if you decide to put it in equatorial position and replace the methyl by hydrogen, that hydrogen, yes, it's going to see those hydrogens, it's going to see them, but because hydrogen is a small group, it's not going to create much, repulsion, and it's going to be really, really small number. You can easily technically ignore it. Okay, it doesn't mean we don't have it at all. Okay, but it's really minimum. So if you have a group bigger than hydrogen, okay, you should put them inside the equatorial versus the axial. Always the equatorial, it will be more, favored. And okay, forgive me, I need to switch position of those two. Okay, so the axial, it will be less stable, and the equatorial, it will be the most stable conformation. And in this case, I'm going to say methyl group should be inside the equatorial. Okay, this strain that we call it diaxial. Why diaxial? Because we have a methyl that is pointing up and is going to see 2 hydrogen far from it and the 3 carbons far from it. And that also those hydrogen are facing up and an axial position, and the term that we use for it, we call it 1,3 diaxial strain. Okay, and I'm going to stop here, and I will keep talking about actual strain in next lecture, and I will see you very soon. Thank you very much.